We will now be moving to what I think is the most important of this series of, presentations that happens to be the solution or the way forward. After all these discussions, if we just end it at, just the cause and effects, I think that we will not be doing ourselves a great good. We have by this time, hopefully understood the value of life and then the value or the respect, the need for the respect for time. And then we've seen the ramifications or the consequences on our personal lives and then also at the corporate level. So before we want to look at some of the practical ways by which we can engage time consciousness. With this episode, I want to share with you 3 possible ways that every one of us do relate with time, and what we do recommend as a New African concept that you should start doing. Time can either be wasted, time can either be spent, and time can be invested, depending on your engagement. So let's start. Wasting. When we talk of wasting of time, we are talking of engaging in any set of activities or any right of engagements that does not bring about any kind of profit. In fact, you can do away with them and your life will not be affected. When you engage yourself in some of these things, a typical example is when you go to some of our places, our villages and then towns and then all, you will find 2 maybe old men playing what we call dummy or draft. And then with this, you'll find about almost 15, 20 young guys around it, mostly under a tree, particularly an almond tree. I don't know why they like playing it under the almond tree. We may have to find a mystery behind it. And then 15 able-bodied men will become commentators for 2 guys playing, the draft. It is not a tournament. Yes, it may be for, relaxation and then all. But to stand there for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, just watching, and then your career goal is not to become a draft specialist. These are examples of you are just wasting your time. Social media is very good, but when it is overstretched, 4 hours you are on social media, jumping from Instagram to Twitter to what, and then you are just liking pictures, you are just enjoying funny clips for 4 hours, 5 hours, 3 hours. My friend, you are wasting your life. You are wasting your time. Time is ebbing out and it is leaking out of you. And mind you, as we've said in previous episodes, that it is not possible that you can get the time after it has been spent or after it has been wasted. So the first way of engaging time is to waste it. And to waste time means that you are engaging in frivolous activities which does not bring you any kind of profit. It does not bring on board any element of dividends. In fact, your life can still go on and even be much better if you do away with them. Those ones are the activities that we call time wasting activities. The first assignment that maybe you may have to go through is that take a break and then list your top 5 time wasting activities. We want it to be more practical because the goal is that we can imbibe focus and time consciousness. Yours may be different from mine. So just take a break and then do a reflection of your life. What are the top 5 activities that you will call time wasting activities? And I'll define them as activities that does not bring any kind of profit to you. In fact, you can completely do away with them and then your life will not be affected in any way possible. Which means that it is just a necessary addendum. You can do away with them. list or put up those top 5, time wasting activities. Number 2, time can be spent. What we mean by spending of time is when we engage in set of activities which I will call that they are normative with us. You cannot necessarily do away with them. So those ones are not time wasting activities, but those ones are, time spending activities. Examples: cooking, eating, bathing, washing, and such likes. Once you are within the social, bracket, bathing, you got to bath, you got to eat, whether you buy it or you cook, all these are time spending activities. They are not wastage. However, it is not the highest form of engaging your time. It is to keep the system running. It is more of, a survival mentality or surviving, engaging element. Are we saying that we should stop, sex stuffs? Obviously not. But this is the interesting part of it. You can help maximize the use of the second aspect, that is the spending of time, by reducing unnecessary stress for yourself. For instance, it is good to wash. If you can and you have the financial capacity, you could consider going in for a washing machine. So that instead of maybe the usual approach that many people normally do, maybe Saturday morning, and then you take a seat, and then you pull up a mountain of clothes to wash, and then by the time you realize 5 hours, 6 hours, some people will exhaust the whole day simply washing. This is a good thing to wash, because it is not advisable that you keep on wearing maybe dirty clothing. But for time spending activities, ask yourself, is there any available alternative that I can engage in order to reduce the time that I am spending so that I can create more beneficial time for myself? That is it. So as I'm using the example of the washing, if I have the capacity, if you don't have the capacity, you don't stress yourself. If you have the capacity to procure for yourself a washing machine, then it is relatively better, so that you can what? You can steal or see some time for yourself. Cooking, the same, and then many others. So time spending activities are normative activities which keep the system running. Sleeping, some time for entertainment, some time for cooking, some time for eating, some time for bathing, some time for washing. These are not bad activities. They are not wasted, but if there are alternatives in order to reduce the time consumption for that, then preferably you should go in for that. And then number 3, time can be invested. And this is where I would want to push you much onto. Time can be invested. To invest your time means that you are adding more value to yourself over that period of time. And that is the difference between savings and investment. So time spending activities are more of savings, and time investing activities are more of investment. In savings, you don't necessarily get profit. It is just the bank keeping, keeping the amount of money that you have. But in investment, you are looking out for profit, which we call dividends. Time investing activities like prayer, it is an investment. Reading, it is an investment. Researching, it is an investment. Working on your character, and attitudinal weaknesses and character deficiencies. These are investments. I've said in some of the previous episodes that don't focus on working hard on your job, focus on working hard on yourself. Because when you work hard on yourself and add more value to yourself, it will have a play at your job. And it will compel your bosses to even pay you much more for what you are doing over that same time. Why? Because now you have added value to yourself. So the point is very much clear. If you want to amount to anything significant in the future, if you want to be a history maker, if you want to be a mover and shaker of our generation, if you want to, lay down certain impacts and effects that posterity can come and read of you and then see the contribution that you gave to the world, then you should look at the third option. That is time investing activities. So when you put all these three together, what are we saying? What we are saying is that, one, take away and reduce to the barest minimum, or even take it completely off. List your top 5 time wasting activities and then take them off. Make a decision today that these are top 5 time wasting activities. It doesn't bring me any good. Unnecessary visitations, jestings, jokes, and things that does not add value to myself, I choose and decide today to cut them off. Number 2, what are your usual or your top 5 spending activities? They are not bad, and I will not recommend that you stop it. But the recommendation, however, is that if you can find other means of doing it very quickly, then you can go in for that option so that you can seize enough time for the third option. That is time investing activities. Prayer, reading, researching, taking some short courses, going to school, and then adding value to yourself. All these are stuffs. When you're adding value to yourself spiritually, you are adding value to yourselves, intellectually, and then every facet of your life, you are seeking to be better. I can assure you that you are going to have a very meaningful life. Start with this simple exercise. And then I would like to also, know how you are progressing along these steps. There may be challenges, so you can reach to us any day, anytime, and we will be very much willing to be of help and then support to you. Can the black man be time conscious? Yes, it is more than a possibility. We can, we must, and surely we shall. And that is the path that we are on. Stay blessed.